Hello everybody, and welcome to the Derek Ruby Show. I am your host, the previously mentioned Mr. Ruby, and man do I love wrestling. I have been watching wrestling since the 1980s, through the golden era of Hulk Hogan, to the Attitude Era with Steve Austin, and all the way to the current era of John Cena. And as a wrestling fan, I like to listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts. I've heard Stone Cold Steve Austin Unleashed, Talk is Jericho, The Don Tony and Kevin Castle Show, Solid Monster Sounds Off, Wrestling Soup, and many others. If it's been out there, I probably checked it out a time or two. But the best wrestling podcast that's behind the scenes that's out there right now is Something To Wrestle with Bruce Prichard. Now, in case you don't know who Bruce Prichard is, he is one of the most famous characters out there, known as Brother Love, The Undertaker's first manager. He worked behind the scenes in the WWE from 1987 to about 2008. He worked in creative as a producer. He also did a little work in TNA. And he also has a co-host named Conrad Thompson. A lot of you may know him from Ric Flair's podcast. And Conrad, he does a lot of the work for the show, does all the research, and asks a lot of the questions for Bruce. And for somebody who's worked behind the scenes that long, this is the closest thing we're ever going to get to a Vince McMahon shoot, because Vince McMahon is probably never going to do a candid interview. But he also does a pretty damn good impression of the only character he does on the show.
We know.
The best thing about this show is, it is really a show from Bruce and Conrad for the fans. A fan interviewing Bruce, and the fans get to vote every week on the topic that the show is going to be about. That's right. Every week, Conrad puts up a poll on Twitter, and there's 4 subjects, and the fans go ahead and they vote on it, and whatever wins, that's going to be the topic of the show. And one thing I like about this show is it's a lot like mine. It's fucking uncensored. So there's no bullshit. You get to hear exactly about how things went from a guy who was actually there. This isn't somebody just giving their opinion and speculating on things that may have happened. This is a person who actually lived it, and we get to hear it firsthand. Now, a lot of you may be wondering why I'm doing a review on a podcast, especially when I do a podcast. But the truth is, the show wanted a lot of people to give reviews on iTunes, and I don't use iTunes. I'm an Android user. So if you want something a little different, you want something that's fan-driven, and you want something that's just pretty fucking awesome, listen to Something To Wrestle With, because I know you'll really enjoy it. And I give Something To Wrestle With 5 stars. So thank you guys for listening to the Derek Ruby Show. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all those other things. Have a good one.